to this friend in Ghana cities. He said that's not a problem. And as we speak, as of Wednesday this week, that amount had been credited into my account for that project. And I'm here to say thank you to God and thank you to everybody who is praying for me. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Wow. We're so excited for you. Congratulations, and we wish you all the best in your business. All right, Chef Govasto, please in 1 minute unmute yourself. Tell us your name, where you're from, what you do, and 1 minute, please, your business testimonial.
Good evening, fellow Africans. My name is Seho from SA. I'm a young entrepreneur. I'm in my early 20s. So last week, I met up with like a young lady from A.Y.E, Vanessa. So we are working together on a hydroponic system, and then we are cooking our own fertilizer from scratch. So on top of that, the connection we made was like really big because we have like the same vision and the same direction where we're going at. And I believe at this tender age of my entrepreneurship journey, as I begin, that I'm at the right place here. Because I remember someone once said, you never know when you need an association. So it's better to be associated so that when the time comes for you to be, to get help from an association, you're already connected. Thank you. Stay winning, keep winning, keep winning.
Makes total sense. Honestly, the last thing you said, I always say that, and it worked for you. So thank you again for sharing. If your video is not on, we probably might not take you to give your testimonial. So please turn on your camera so we get to see you. We want to see the person testifying. Richard from Ghana, please unmute yourself in 1 minute. Tell us your name, what you do, where you're from, and in 1 minute, please, your testimonial.
Good evening to everybody. I'm Richard from Ghana. I think some couple of weeks ago in one of our assemblies, I made mention that I was coming up with a program for which within that week, I got a sponsorship for that program. Thanks be to God, this week, Tuesday, we started the official announcement in 4 radio stations, almost 4 radio stations in the eastern region of Ghana where the program is going to take place. And so I'm very much happy of being part of this association. And I'm very sure that when the program kickstarts, A.Y.E, this testimony and these information about the event will be shared on all the A.Y.E platforms. And then encourage other people to also join. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much for sharing. Bame from Botswana, I can see your beautiful feet, honey. I know that we have power issues in Africa, so it's fine, girl. Please tell us your testimonial in 1 minute. Honey, we can't hear you. It's tough to hear you. Can you check your audio if it's on and working? We still can't hear you, Bame. Try to fix your audio. Maybe I talk to Angela while you try to figure it out. Thank you very much. Angela, can you please unmute yourself? And let's hear your testimonial in 1 minute, please.
Okay, thank you. My name is Angela Madro from Zimbabwe. I was motivated by one assembly where the president talked about the kind of people that you need in a business. So I had an amount of money, so my friends just gave me $50 each, and I ended up having $200. So project on poultry keeping, so that motivates people, that give you the mindset of doing something in a business, doing business. So the president me a lot about the kind of
Angela, I think your audio is a bit shaky, but I think we got your testimonial. Thank you so much for
that we
sharing.
should connect with when.
Thank you so much, Angela, for sharing. We did get it. It was breaking at some point, but we did get it, and we're happy for you. All right, I cannot see the faces of the other two beautiful ladies. I'm sorry, I may not be able to take you today. Maybe next week you share your testimonials with us. Right now, we are going straight into the message. One thing I have been waiting for today, and that's because the person who would be, sharing with us today is one person that I trust. I trust her so much that when she opens her mouth to speak, she speaks the truth, she speaks honesty, she speaks what is right, and she says it exactly as it should be said. I would advise you really to take your pens and paper. She's going to be giving some amazing nuggets there. When she told me, like, Miriam, I'm going to be dropping some nuggets today, I literally started dancing because I know who she is and I know what she can do. I've heard her speak and I know how much that she's got going in her and for her. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause as I make welcome Nancy Arabaye.
Thank you so much for introducing me. Thank you for just holding me to such high esteem. I'm always excited and honored, honestly, when I get to speak in front of people, because as much as that you are filled, I am actually filled when I'm speaking to people. I will say this, you're probably thinking that I'm here to teach you something, that you're gonna learn something new. What I'm actually going to do today is something a little different. We are going to unlearn. I'm actually giving you tips to unlearn practices that no longer serve you or the organizations that you're leading or intend to lead. So today we're unlearning. So what I'll ask you to do is not to be selfish today. Go ahead and send the link out to about 5 people and tell them to join, because what I'm getting ready to deliver is something that's not really taught. You don't really get to learn it anywhere unless you're a part of organizations such as A.Y.E, where people are able to give you the secret nuggets that lead to success. Okay, so let's go ahead, send the link out, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started. What I wanna do is start with reflection. I will say, Miriam said this is the time to get a notebook. It's not a game. Get a notebook, get a pen, because I'm delivering information for you to unlearn practices that no longer serve you. What I want you to do is just simply take 30 seconds and think about your best job experience. Think about your best employees and what made it feel good. What made it great? What made your job experience so great? Think about a manager that you had. And it was so funny. I was thinking today and I began to smile as I was reflecting back on my best job that I've had. I've had several different jobs in several different industries, but there's one in particular that I remember. I want you to think about your best experience. It could even be volunteer service, but what made it excellent? And if you can just drop it in the chat, I'm going to continue to speak, but if you can just quickly drop in the chat why this experience was great. What made it great? Why was your boss the best boss? Why was the people that you worked with the best people that you worked with? Can we just like add it in the chat? I'm curious to know if it's the same feelings that I had today. What made your boss the best boss? What made the people that you worked with the best people that you worked with? And when I thought about this today, there was one thing that I was just smiling about this morning. And I thought to myself, well, the boss that I had was very kind. And this was like my second year. I was a teacher, actually. I was a teacher. I taught 5th grade. I taught 10-year-olds. And to be honest, you'll be surprised that 10-year-olds, they can be very stressful. They're 10, but they can really get to you. And my boss was very supportive. She didn't really micromanage me. My principal, she didn't micromanage me, but she checked in on me. She would pop into my classroom and ask me how I was doing. And then I remember my team, there was about 6 other 5th grade teachers. And we would always commune in the mornings. We would come together and we would just gist. We would talk about our students, the ones that acted crazy and the ones that made us smile. And we would talk about our personal lives as well. And I would share the things that I had going on and we would laugh. It was actually a joyful experience. And unfortunately, what I will say is that there weren't too many experiences like that. But this particular job that I'm referring to was a culture that was set. There was a culture of joy. And to be honest, we had relationship. And so the art of showing concern is simply about relationships. And the beautiful thing about relationship, it's transferable. So whether you're talking about a relationship with your significant other or your friends or your boss or your coworker, relationship is relationship, and that is what shows concern. And so today I'm going to talk a little bit about relationship. And again, what I'm telling you, we're going to be unlearning things today. This is a whole master class, but I'm going to give it to you in about 15 minutes. Okay. And relationship again is what is the art of concern. So how do we have good relationships? And again, this is transferable. The art of showing concern is about empathy. It's that E word, empathy. I need you to write this down, empathy. And what's really interesting that I find on the internet, on social media, even in our leadership classes that we take, we talk about empathy, but no one really shows it properly. That's what I find very interesting. We talk about this E word. Empathy is the key to relationship. And when you master empathy, you'll understand that your business will operate better. Your relationships with your coworkers will be significantly better. Your relationships with your friend, your family, with your significant other, all become better because you decided to master empathy, which is a very hard skill to master. So with that being said, how in the world do we actually demonstrate empathy? Now, let me tell you this. Again, empathy is about relationship. And I remember Mr. President, he spoke about there is no vision. There is no business without people. So empathy is about having good relationships with people. And I remember I'm a smiler. I always want to have good relationships with people. I laugh. I'm so joyful. And my mom said, you can't always smile. People will think you're weak. I'm like, what? What do you mean? I love smiling. I love to laugh. And that's a stereotype. That's a thing that we have to unlearn, that smiling makes you weak. That's insane to me. And what I realized was, wait, no, I'm not going to adhere to that thought. I'm not going to adhere to that principle that smiling is weak, that I can't have friendly relationships with my employees because they won't hold me to high regard. That is a false practice, a false belief that I chose to just dismiss and change because it's not true. I'm a very happy person and I have great relationships with my employees and we get things done. Let me say that. I don't play when it comes to getting things done. So the first thing that we want to do when we're talking about empathy, how do we begin to build empathy? It's a very difficult thing to achieve. We have to seek to understand. And then we're going to get a little bit deeper. How do we show empathy? You seek to understand. So when we seek to understand, it's really deep here. You put your feelings, you put the feelings of others before yourself. That's deep. Because when you're seeking to understand, when someone offends you or you've taken an action that someone has demonstrated, you pause before you start to act and you try to understand them. Put yourself in their shoes. Why would they do this to me? Right? And instead of feeling like you're being attacked, try to see what are they going through in that moment. So if this person, for maybe they didn't get an assignment, a task done, perhaps they raised their voice. Maybe you felt disrespected by your employer. But if we seek to understand and say, you know what, I wonder what they're going through today. I wonder what triggered them to act in the manner that they did. Then we would now put the relationship before the judgment, right? So let's just take it back. Like, think of your closest relationship. Like, I have a twin brother. Okay. My middle name is Ty and my twin is Kende. And we're close. We are so close. He's like my best friend. Okay. Now, just last week, he actually made me cry, y'all. He made me cry last week. I was so frustrated. He's really attacking me. He's coming for me with his words, okay? And I paused for a second and said, in everything that he's saying, because I have a relationship with him, I know he loves me. I know he didn't mean to hurt me. So therefore, let me take the feedback and let me figure out, he's frustrated, Nancy. He's frustrated because you kind of dropped the ball for a second. And I was able to move forward. That's the power of relationship. I'm able to now seek to understand instead of show judgment. That's the first. Second, which is so important, oh my Lord, for relationship, there has to be trust. There is no empathy without trust. So because I have my amazing twin brother, who's my best friend, and I trust him, it was so easy to seek to understand. It was easy to give grace because there was a level of trust. Now, here's the tricky part. And again, this is why we have to unlearn. How do you begin to trust people? Okay, y'all, I'm going to give the V word. The V word is vulnerability. And I know. Here's my mother again. You can't be vulnerable. Don't show vulnerability. When you show vulnerability, they think you're weak. And I just laugh. You have to be vulnerable with your employees. You have to let your guard down. Now, I didn't say just open up everything and people just start throwing darts at you. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there has to be a level of letting guards down and begin to share things so you can build trust. When I don't feel connected to someone, I can't really trust you because I don't really know what's going on with you. But you can't connect if there isn't vulnerability. So again, we have to unlearn this V word that vulnerability is weakness and redefine the definition and understand that vulnerability is power, because vulnerability leads to connection and connection can lead to transformation. So vulnerability is the second thing that I want you to practice. Well, it's really trust, but in order to get to trust, there's this vulnerability piece. There's a sharing and a connectedness that has to happen. So for those who are leading organizations and you have people around you, customers around you, my customers are bigger than a transaction. They're bigger than a transaction. I share things. I actually share experiences. I try to connect with my customers. And most importantly, Lord, I connect with my employees. Why? Because we have to trust one another. We have to be a team. We have to have a strong relationship in order for us to push the vision forward. So these are practices that have to happen or you won't have the effective team that can make it through crisis, right? That can make it through difficult conversations. Had a difficult conversation with a client yesterday. I'm like, Lord, I mean, it was a very intense conversation, but because there's trust there and we understand that the vision is the goal, we can put the other like emotions and feelings behind us because we understand that there's love there and that the trust is there and we're all fighting for the same thing. That is the power of vulnerability. That is the power of trust. The third thing, which, I would say I can't really put one above the other, but the third that leads to relationship, effective communication. Now, this is a whole entire like lesson on its own. What is effective communication? But what I will say is this. transparency, right? So when you're communicating, being transparent, right? So I had a friend, I'm a storyteller. I had a friend, it was her birthday last week, and her sister, they're going at it, going back and forth. And I'm listening to them like, your guys' communication is awful. One person had a side, the other person had a side, and they could not understand. They kept pointing fingers at one another. And I said, you guys have terrible communication. And I turned to my friend, I've known her since I was 6 years old. I turned to her and I said, well, why don't you just be a little bit more transparent as to why you said no? Just be transparent, because your sister feels a certain way because of the lack of transparency that you're demonstrating. So if you were just a little bit transparent, actually all of this would have been alleviated. So a part of effective communication is transparency. I would say the second is having a cycle for feedback, right? So I should feel safe enough to tell you, regardless of what your position is in the organization, to tell you how I feel, right? So what is your cycle of feedback in your relationships? Again, this is transferable. So whether you have a child, whether it's your mother, your sister, your brother, your boss, your coworker, what is the feedback cycle? Is the space safe enough where I can tell you the truth, right? Without it leading to some sort of clash. You have to create that culture. It's very intentional, but it's important for relationship, okay? Another thing that really helps with effective communication is listening. And I don't mean the fake listening. I'm not talking about fake listening. I'm talking about actually listening to understand, really hearing the person. Okay, I hear why you feel that way. Like I hear it. I can see it because I hear you. And then what you do with what you hear, right? Because I hear you, I'm going to receive it as feedback and I will adjust because of the relationship. That the goal is a relationship, right? And so when we start thinking about these things, the biggest part to this all, like in all of this mixture that I've just given to you, is the managing your emotions. Okay, that's really important. Manage your emotions. Now, again, these are real things that you have to practice in your day-to-day life. I just had one of my employees last week. I was highly irritated, and she said that I didn't value her, and I'm like, what in the world? You mean I don't value you? I got you that. I gave you that. So in my brain, I'm like, I was done. I was like, this person, they've lost their mind. That was the emotional Nancy, right? But I understood I had to check my emotions and I had to hear her out. Why is it that you do not feel valued? Perhaps our definition of value are just completely different. And when I spoke to her and removed my emotions, I was able to hear her. But guess what? I created a space safe enough for her to be honest and transparent and to give me feedback. Doesn't matter if you're the CEO. Does not matter if you're the boss, if you're the visionary. And because I heard her, we were able to move forward in peace. We're happy, we're good, and we're still working towards the vision. Manage your emotions, which means you have to master your ego. Ego.
Oh, we can't hear you.
I just was muted. I'm sorry. Ego will lead to demise. So with that being said, I just want to quickly just capture the points again. Again, this is a whole entire master class, but if you take these key points, you'll be able to lead your organizations and lead the people within your organizations, but also you can manage your relationship with your organization, with your boss and with your employees. Relationship is the most important thing. And let me say this, I'm not in relationship with people that don't share my same values. I'm gonna say this probably went over your heads. I'm not in relationship with people that don't share my values. There's no point. There won't be solid communication. There is no trust. There is no it's hard to have effective communication. We don't share the same values. We don't even have the same mission. We don't have the same goal. So when you're in your relationships, again, transferable. And I'm going to go back to the working space. I'm going to go back to maybe you hired a few people and maybe you hired out of desperation versus hiring for value. Or maybe you're an employee at an organization and you're just there because you want to collect the check. So now you're unhappy. You need to be in relationship with people who share your same value. You need to be in relationship with organizations that share your value, because that is what is going to lead to the art, right? Like we're talking about the art of showing concern, but it's all relationship. It's all about demonstrating empathy. And when people share your values, it's so much easier to achieve. So with that being said, I don't want to go over my time, but I need you all to understand, begin to unlearn what we believe was the truth, such as vulnerability is weakness, such as smiling means you can't be an effective leader, right? Let's change that and let's start building the Africa that we want to see. Let's start creating the culture that we know that needs to be present and showing concern for our relationships, whether it's personal, whether it's our significant other, and most importantly, our business relationships so that we can build a better Africa. My name is Nancy Taya Rogbai. Thank you so much for this time. I am just so happy and pleased to be here. And I hope that I was able to deliver something that you can take back and implement within your organizations. Thank you so much.
Harvard was founded in 1636. The University of Cape Town was built in 1829. Companies last a long time, but institutions last forever. Allow me to introduce you to the world's first entrepreneurship village. Entrepreneurship Village is a haven for great innovation, creativity, ideas, relaxation, technology, knowledge transfer, and living. The E-Village is a compact solution to Africa's economic development, with facilities such as flexible co-working spaces, Center for Entrepreneurship Development, School of Robotics and Artificial Intelligence, SORI, Megaminds Audiovisual Production Studio and Academy, Research Cube, Digital Circle, Africa Business College, virtual meeting and boardrooms, residential apartments, and a commercial office tower, amongst others.
All of you to join in here and drive the development of this beautiful initiative.
The E-Village is not for everyone, but for the very few who want to make an impact, and whose goals, of course, are not to live forever, but to create something that will.
All right, that was a smooth ride into what we are expecting in the future with A.Y.E. That is just one of the things, one of the things that we would be experiencing after now, of course, for the next 10 years of our lives here in A.Y.E. So thank you very much for that video. And thank you so much, Nancy, for that message. It was very impactful. And those nuggets, I took them down, and I'm so sure a lot of us did as well. So in the end, we all get to know how to manage our emotions, communicate better, and all of the things that we need to do to make sure that we show empathy, smile better. It doesn't show that you're weak. And of course, we can be vulnerable as well. So thank you so much for pointing all of that out. All right. I really do hope that we are all set and ready, because at this point, we will be breaking out into our rooms so that we can ask each other that question. Now, the thing is, last week we did something like this, where we broke out into rooms and then we asked the question, how are you? And we did not do the regular how are you that has the by default answer of I'm fine. This time around, ask it, mean it, and answer with all honesty. How are you? If you're not fine, say you're not and tell us what's going on with you. You never know who's listening. You never know who's watching. You never can underestimate the power of networking. So once you break out into those rooms, ensure that you join a room and network. We're breaking you out as I speak. It's going to pop up and just tells you to join. Please just click on join. You'll be in a room and then communicate. Okay? Communicate. Tell us how you are. Of course, there will be moderators that will be leading each room and handling each room. So ensure that you communicate with that person. And remember, answer honestly, not the by default, I am fine, or I'm okay, or I will be okay. Or yeah, it's all right. No, like really tell us how you are, because that's what we're doing. We did it last week. And like we said, it's a series. So right now we're going to be breaking out into those rooms as I speak. I'm sure it's going down as well. Right. So please ensure that you join a room. Ensure that you join a room. Do not just stay here with me, because I really would like to join a room as well. So ensure that you join a room and express yourself once the time is right. I hope, yes, it's popping up on my screen right now. So I'm sure it's doing the same thing with yours. Just click on join. Just click on join. Automatically, you will be in that room. And remember, answer honestly and have this conversation. We have about 20 minutes to do this. Use that 20 minutes well. You know, judicious with it. Ensure that you're clicking and you're joining.
Ninatamani siku zirudi nyuma na niuzuie moyo kukupenda. Binadamu gani huna hata huruma? Kisa sina umeniacha ukaenda. Kusala moyo wangu kukupenda kwa dhati, nikataka uwe wangu na nikapa sikwachi. Utu na wema wangu eti leo nitaki. Iwapi thamani yangu ama sina bahati? Chalanga cho neni tusu. Chalanga cho neni tusu.
People in this room, please join breakout room. Join a breakout room. That's what we're doing next. If you're just joining us, we're breaking out. Join a breakout room. Join a breakout room. Mikaya, please join a breakout room. It would really help. Boise, Angela, please join a breakout room. It's going to be right beside you. There are breakout rooms. Bold button, join a breakout room. That's what we're doing right now. That's where you get all of the rest of the excitement in the room today. Ensure that you join a room. ensure that you are joining a breakout room. If you're just joining us, this room started like 1 hour ago. We start earlier now, 1 hour before our usual time. So we start at 6 p.m. GMT +1. And right now we're breaking out into rooms. So if you're just joining, we have about 7 rooms already open. If it's popping up on your screen right now, just click join and click on join. You will join a room. Idala Ogufere, please join a room. Angela, it would be nice to join a room. That is where you'll get the rest of the excitement of the room today. Boise, please join a room. Ensure that you join a room. Shola, join the room. Bame, you should be in a room. Queen Ibrahim, ensure that you join a room. That's where you have all the conversation, the honest conversation, the practical aspects of today's message, which says, how are you? The act of showing concern. And this, in those rooms, we get to express ourselves better. We tell exactly how we are. And like I said, you don't know who's listening. You don't know who is in the room with you. So if I were you, I'll be as blatantly honest as I can be. So please join a room right now. Thank you very much as you do so. 7 rooms are open. Ensure that you don't miss out on any. Okay, so if you're still in this room, ensure that you're joining the room as I speak, okay? Thank you very much.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. That will lead you home. That will lead you home. No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. That will lead you home. Master KG.
joining, welcome. This is Africa's Young Entrepreneurs Weekly Assembly, and we have been here for the last 1 hour plus. We started at 6 p.m. GMT plus one because we start earlier now, 1 hour earlier than our usual time. And at this time, we are breaking out into rooms. So once it pops up and tells you to join in, please click on join in. Okay, just join in any room right now. We're discussing how are you, the act of showing concern, and it's way more than the question. It's not just a regular how are you question, and every entrepreneur will just go right ahead and say, oh, I'm fine, I'm good. No, we really want to know how you are, because I have said this over and over. You never can tell who's listening. You don't know who you are with in that room. You don't know if it's someone that can actually be there and help you, whatever it is you're going through. So ensure that you are completely honest in those rooms. So I see you, Adaya, is that your name, please? Join a room. Ronald, you should be in a room by now. Join a room. Jalila Kiwa, please join a room. Isaac Minshak, join a room. Pame should be in a room. That's where you get the rest of the conversation in the room today. Olabaje Ito, please join a room. I hope that you guys do that real quick, so that you can, of course, enjoy the rest of the package in the room today. I am really please join a room as well. Thank you so much. Jimo, join a room. We are in our breakout session.
No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. No matter where you go, remember the road that will lead you home. That will lead you home. Master KG.
Happy Pizzo, welcome. Thank you for joining. Please join a breakout room. That is where the conversation is right now. We've been here for well over 1 hour. We start at 6 p.m. GMT plus one now. So ensure you join in. And if you're just joining, we are in our breakout session. Ensure that you are joining a breakout room as I speak. Do that real quick so you can enjoy the rest of the conversation where we're having honest conversations about how we are showing empathy and showing concern, of course, one another. So please join a breakout room. Happy Peter, join a room. I wonder where Richard is still doing here. Richard, please join the room. ID Nathaniel, Abraham, Abdul Halim, all of you, please join a room. Ronald, join a room, and that is where you will get the rest of the fun and conversation in the meeting today. The room is, I think it's still going to be open for another, say, 10 minutes. So ensure that you're joining, just take out time.
Jerusalem, ikayalami ilonoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilonoloze zuhambe nami.
All right, guys, we're still here. Ensure that you have joined or you are joining the breakout room. Ronald is still here. Join the breakout room. Please, Michael from Ghana, join a breakout room. We have a couple more minutes left to network in that room and, of course, show empathy, communicate, ask ourselves questions and answer as honestly as we can to help us, of course, figure out what it is we're going through in our lives, in our business. And like I said, you never know who's listening. So join the breakout room, and after it's done, we'll be all back here to, of course, chant our mantra and call it a day. So join the breakout room if you are just joining us.
People under the sun, you know we are. We are. One people under the sun. Send down the rain. Send down the rain on my people. Send down the rain to show we are one heart, one soul, one love. But you keep it moving. No time to look around. You better keep it moving. When you the low, you the high, keep it moving. When you the sad, or things they hard, just keep it moving. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Together we fit to light the fire. You need me, I need you. You need me, I need you. You need me, I need you. Oh, we are one people under the sun, you know we are. We are. One people under the sun. Send down the rain. Send down the rain on my people. Send down the rain to show we are one heart, one soul, one love. Under the sun, you know we are. Imbola, singing Bezi Zalanga. We are. We are one people under the sun, you know we are. Imbola, singing Bezi Zalanga. Adeni one people under the sun, you know we are. We are one people under the sun. Send down the rain, send down the rain on my people. Send down the rain to show we are one heart, one soul, one love. But you keep it moving. No time to look around. You better keep it moving. Whether you the low or you the high, keep it moving. Whether you the sad or things they hard, just keep it moving. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Together we fit to light the fire. You need me, I need you. You need me, I need you. You need me, I need you.
All right, guys.
No, we are.
We really do hope that you are going to join a breakout room. We have started since like 6 p.m. GMT +1. We started the meeting earlier now, 1 hour earlier than the usual time. So we have started like well over 1 hour ago, almost 1 hour 13 minutes ago. And we have been in breakout rooms. That's why there are so few people in this room, because everybody else is in breakout rooms. So if you just join in, welcome. It's good to have you. Olayinka P Square, I see you. Please join the breakout room. I think we have about 3 minutes to do that before we all come back into the room. We've been in the breakout room for a couple of minutes now. It would be fun. That's where the rest of the conversation is going. And after that, we'll all come back into this main room and of course chant our mantra. Thank you so much for joining. There are about 7 breakout rooms open. Just click on join and join any of the rooms and go have the conversation. How are you? The act of showing concern.
African, if I keep I'm real African. They don't know what we're supposed to be African and African. Tell me what's the deal right now? Truth have to reveal right now. I'm trying to build right now. Do you really want to make it fall apart? No lie, you want to make it fall apart. You want, hey, cause fall apart. be someone else.
I've been on my knees, but I don't need help.
You said you go lie for me in 5L.
Hallelujah, be a be more than. If you do well, you won't make it fall apart.
No lie, you want make it fall apart. You want, cause kata, fall apart. Fall apart now. Fall apart now. Fall apart now.
Thank you, everybody else for joining us in a couple of minutes. The breakout rooms are about to close. So in a couple of minutes, we'll be having the rest of us join us. I think they're already joining. It's good to have everybody back. Let's give it one more minute, and everybody will be back here in this room.
I've been around the world, and there's no place like home. Oh, Africa, how beautiful you are. Your smile and your heart, your love and your cares. Oh, Africa, how beautiful you are. How beautiful you are. How beautiful you are. Oh, yeah.
Piri pakile ratabato. Piri pakile ratasavana. Piri pakile ratabato. Piri pakile ratasavana. Piri pakile ratabato. Piri pakile ratasavana. Piri pakile ratabato. Piri pakile ratasavana.
Your smile and your heart, your love and your cares. Oh, Africa, how beautiful you
How beautiful Africa is. Welcome back to the room, guys. I hope you had fun. I hope you communicated. I hope you expressed yourself. I hope you were honest. I hope somebody got help. And if you didn't get help, like right now, I'm sure it is coming, whatever it is you're going through. And remember, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be to have empathy. It's okay to communicate. Okay? It's okay to smile. I mean, it doesn't mean you're weak or you're not strong enough. So remember, put all of those things in your mind and live your life every day like it is the last. Awesome. So thank you guys for joining us today. It has been an awesome time. Remember, it starts now at 6 p.m. GMT +1. Ensure that you keep that at the back of your mind when you're broadcasting the link and sharing to your loved ones. 6 p.m. GMT +1. That's 1 hour earlier than our former time. Okay, so it's time to chant the mantra before we go. Our hands together as we chant the mantra. Wherever you are, shout it from the rooftop. Let everybody know that you know AYE, you're a member of AYE, you are a young entrepreneur, and you are in this room today. So put your hands together just like this, and let's chant our mantra together. Are you ready? Awesome. Yeah, I see you already doing it. So you're just gonna, I'm just gonna say, if you can achieve this much alone, and you respond with, how much more can we achieve together? You don't have to unmute yourself, but I think I can hear you even if you're in South Africa. If you shout really loud, I'll hear you. Okay, so let's do it together. Africa's young entrepreneurs, if you can achieve this much alone, how much more can we achieve together? Thank you so much for joining. I cannot wait to see you again next week, Saturday at 6 p.m.
Oh, Africa, how beautiful you are. Your smile and your heart, your love and your cares. Oh, Africa,